building the perfect fighter from the ground up, every fighter is going to be different. Every fighter is going to have a different height. They're going to be short. They're going to be tall. They're going to be wide. They're going to be long and lanky. So every fighter is going to be different. And every fighter is going to come with a different set of attributes. How good are their eyes? How fast is their reaction time? How gritty are they? Not every fighter is the same. I would really base it around what their build is like and have to be around them for a while to build the strongest fighter. But if you had one person, I do think it's always good to start with grappling. Wrestling and jiu-jitsu take so long to develop. In 2-3 years, you can become a very proficient striker. In 2-3 years, you're barely scratching the surface when it comes to wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I think those are the hardest ones to develop. So starting with wrestling and jiu-jitsu would definitely be where I start my fighter. Best advice I could give an athlete to not get injured is making sure that you're hydrated, number one. You're eating good fuel that's not giving your body inflammation. And you're moving when you wake up, and you're moving before you go to bed. Moving your body like some simple yoga stretches, some simple dynamic stretches. So after training, you're not going to bed super sore and stiff and then waking up super sore and stiff. So number one, I think, is nutrition. Making sure you're eating whole foods, clean foods, so when you eat them, your body knows what to do with them. Staying hydrated, getting good sleep, and getting some movement before you go to sleep, after you wake up. Having a personal connection with teammates and coaches outside the gym, I think, is important. That's your community of people. That's your tribe. You do hang out all week. For my people, I do hang out, and I treat my practices almost like it's a hangout. We hang out at practice. We work hard. We compete. We try to improve and get better. I do think it's important to have a good time out of the training room, go to dinner, go do something fun, and just hang out with the teammates on the side. The key factors between a professional and an amateur is how composed you are in there. With an amateur, the rounds are really short and the fight's really hectic. The guy's really stiff and he doesn't deal with emotions very well. With professionals, they've been around, they've done that. So you can tell with the calmness of a professional. The rounds are longer, they're 3 5-minute rounds. So you have to be real calm and tactical. And when you get tired and when things aren't going your way, you're still sticking with your techniques and being disciplined with your techniques. That's what I believe the difference between a professional and amateur is. When an athlete is looking for the right gym and coach to train at, I think it's important to go in there and feel the vibe of the gym. Talk to the coach, tell the coach your goals, see how he understands it, and see how he runs practice, and feel the vibe of everyone around you. Because if you hate going to practice every day, you don't like the way your coach treats you, you don't like your teammates, it's going to be a real miserable career. So you have to like showing up to work, hanging out with the people around you, and enjoy the vibe of your coach and really trust your coach. So I would recommend go into different gyms, try them out, tell the coach your goals, and see which vibe you like the most. And it should be pretty easy to tell. Your heart should be able to tell you. If a fighter has 30, 40 plus fights and they really truly know how to fight, then they probably don't need to spar as much as a beginner. A beginner, you need to spar a lot. You need to learn to have that grit. You need to learn to stay composed when you're super tired. So I think early on, sparring more is better, but the later you get in your career, the older you get, I think the less you should spar, and it should be more kind of dialed in with your sparring compared to just sparring all the time, twice a week, all your life, because that can add up. The more professional you get, the higher level you get, the less you can spar. Really, nothing's going to mimic real sparring. There's no cardio that's going to mimic it. But the closest thing you're going to be able to get is hard mitts with your coach, with a wrestler on the side or a fighter on the side taking shots. You're combining wrestling, scrambling, wrestling sprawls, wrestling scrambles, wrestling against the wall. You're combining that with mitts with the airdyne. Airdyne sprints, mitts, and having a partner shoot on you and create wrestling scrambles is going to mimic sparring the best. I always think on your recovery days, it's important that you keep your body moving, not just sitting in the couch for one full day, sitting there not getting your body moving. I still think you should get your heart rate up a little bit, still go outside, get some sun, move your body, make sure you're hydrating extra and getting some good fuel in your body, not just sitting there or laying in bed watching TV all day. So I do think it's very important on your rest days that you're doing a more of an active recovery than just sitting there like a slob.